Ciampa and Gargano thought they had it won, but unfortunately, it did not work out that way.
That's what makes a good story.
And we are now live on YouTube.
YouTube. Hi.
Yeah, we apologize for the delay on getting here on YouTube. Right, basically, we're right now in the middle of talking about NXT Takeover Brooklyn. Nick, sorry to interrupt you on that one.
Oh, it's all good. And we've already gone through about the first 4 matches. We're on the NXT Tag Team title match with the Revival retains. Next, we had the women's match. Y'all's girls, Bayley and Asuka.
Yeah. You can have Asuka, not gonna have Bayley.
Which I don't really think anybody thought Bayley was going to win here.
Yeah, especially with her being called up to the main roster.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they actually didn't know she was going to be called up until
Monday night.
Yeah. Well, and with Sasha being hurt and Paige being suspended, they didn't really have like a major babyface to feud with Charlotte.
Yeah, and Bayley's pretty much money. I don't even miss when Nasty's the dollar signs.
Oh, sure.
That kind of worried me that you started talking about Bayley, then you started doing this. Like, you're getting ready to do something nasty.
Well, she got that big booty,
Yeah, so. You do the same way with Asuka. But you're like, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't do it in public.
Yeah.
But Asuka, with her relentless kicks, was able to pretty much take it to Bayley, and they did have a little hug afterwards.
Yeah.
So there's always room for hugs with Bayley.
Oh, definitely.
NXT World Title match. You got Samoa Joe defending his title against
How about that entrance, though, with that violinist playing Shinsuke Nakamura's theme? It really added to the overall quality of Shinsuke Nakamura, and it really added to how dramatic his entrance can be.
Yeah, and how quirky he is with his little mouthpiece and his cool, hair.
Right, and Billy likes the violinist, and Mark likes the penis. Like that play the piano.
Yeah. Nakamura.
And we got a comment. We got Joshua Abear in the chat room said, "Hey guys, what's up? What is up to Joshua? How you doing?"
Yeah,
hey, what's up, Josh?
He used to be on the Q.
The Q.
Yeah, the Q.
Okay.
The show. Yeah.
But
he's a big wrestling fan also.
Good match for the world title.
Oh, definitely, 100%.
Yeah.
Nakamura and Samoa Joe, they had a hard-hitting, back and forth match, kind of a slower build into, kind of a crescendo, good in-ring psychology. 2 Kinshasas did the job.
Yeah.
And we have a new NXT World Champion.
Gosh.
Which we knew was eventually coming. The question now is, how much longer before we see Samoa Joe on the main roster?
It's very interesting you bring that up because there have been internet reports flying out the wazoo ever since Shinsuke Nakamura won the title at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn about Samoa Joe and the possibility of him being bumped up to the main roster, kind of like that. But I don't think they're going to be pulling the trigger on him just yet because I think they really want to play out more of the feud between Nakamura and Samoa Joe since contractually Samoa Joe gets a rematch for the NXT Championship. So not just yet are we going to see anything from Samoa Joe on the main roster. But if you guys disagree with that and you want to voice in your opinion, you call into 366-8950. I should learn how to read.
I like to see Samoa Joe like this knuckle buster Roman Reigns off the top rope.
I could see it possibly at SummerSlam. I mean, not SummerSlam, excuse me, Survivor Series. Or I could possibly see it at Royal Rumble. Samoa Joe making his debut. And I could also see CM Punk facing Samoa Joe at WrestleMania 34, baby. Yeah.
If they mend those bridges, but CM Punk really burnt those bridges bad.
It's time.
But McMahon will always have you back, no matter how burned the bridges are.
You can make money for him.
Yeah, exactly. And CM Punk can make him money.
Yeah.
All right, Nick, so what would you score NXT TakeOver Brooklyn?
I would say I've seen better NXT takeovers, but it was still really good. I would give it a solid A-.
Yeah.
I could agree with that one. And on a numerical scale, I would give it to me 3.75 out of 5. I thought it was a very good, solid show.
4, even.
Yeah, or an even 4. Because I got to say, really, if it wasn't for Shinsuke Nakamura and Samoa Joe, the match that really stole the show, and yes, I'm being biased about this, it's Asuka and Bayley. because they really set the bar of what women's wrestling should be in,
Yeah.
especially on the top company such as WWE. And Ember Moon looked absolutely fantastic.
Well, and you
Yeah.
can't even forget
And
about
you
the
can't
NXT
teach
Tag
them.
Team
Oh,
champions,
yes.
the Revival, who looked great,
And so did
also
Tommaso Ciampa.
Ciampa and Gargano. I mean,
Yeah, they could be
they
nice.
are set up in the tag division right now in NXT, especially with the Authors of Pain and the
Yeah.
Area 51 or whatever they are.
TM61.
TM61, yeah.
And one's got to wonder how long will Bobby Roode be in NXT before he gets bumped up to the main roster?
When he wins the next after he wins and loses to someone.
Yeah, they need some people to fill out the roster right now, just so their pay-per-views are still worth a crap, so.
Yeah.
I say he stays on the NXT roster, gets in the world title picture.
Yeah.
We might see him maybe next year around SummerSlam time on the main roster.
And also, if you're in our chat room right now, like Joshua is, and he's got a question, he says, what did y'all think of the SummerSlam finish with Randy Orton getting busted open by Brock Lesnar? Also, the pipe bomb that Miz dropped on Daniel Bryan on Talking Smack. We'll get to that very, very shortly.
we'll get to that.
Because that, to me, sparked a lot of interest in the IWC, for sure.
Oh, definitely. Miz brought it. And,
I don't think he can suck our,
I was personally disappointed by the way SummerSlam ended, especially even more so to hear that that's what they had planned.
Yeah.
It's like, really? Come on. That should have
Really?
been further down the card, in my opinion.
Really?
And the world title should have taken even if it's the Universal Championship, that match should have came last. Whether it be the Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, Finn Balor would have been a decent enough main event. But at least it should have gone on last.
Yeah, because that's what very traditional wrestling used to work. Your main championship of your promotion was always in the main event because it was your top title. That means that this guy who holds the championship, this promotion is getting behind this guy. And it should be the highlight of the show. It should be the last match of your promotion. And instead,
Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar and Randy Orton. Now, I'm not disrespecting Randy Orton. I'm definitely disrespecting Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, he's gonna come get you one day.
Yeah, the guy's only got 3 moves in his moveset. What is he going to do to me? I like to see him suplex me. I dare Brock Lesnar to try to come and suplex
Yeah, he's gonna
me.
sue you. I'll sue you.
No, just one back kick to his nuts and he's done.
Yeah.
That's it.
But Brock Lesnar would destroy you, Billy. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, he's
He would
probably
destroy any of us. I mean,
yeah,
I'm
but
not
he probably
saying that
he
I'm
probably
special
lost
or anything.
his due to the steroids that he takes.
Well, that is very true. That he's allowed to take. But yeah, you were mentioning, Billy, that SummerSlam was really long.
Oh yeah.
And then we ended up with the 3
hours.
matches for a kickoff show, 2 of them of which weren't even announced.
The Ascension brings
And it was
Zongo.
mainly just to get people on the card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Ascension brings Zongo, Bob Billings against the Usos, against the Hype Bros, and the American Alpha. Yeah, it was kind of.
Dude,
It was a
seemed
rematch
like they were
from last week's
wrestling, like, in front
SmackDown.
of like 1,000 people. Like nobody had even made it to their seats yet.
That's kind of like the same crap they pulled for WrestleMania, to be honest.
Well, right, with Ryback and the U.S. title.
Yeah.
So.
But it is like you said, like I guess they were trying to get him on the card, and
And that was the last straw for Ryback, really.
yeah.
I mean, like he was done after that.
Feed me more.
But yeah, I mean, like it pretty much broke down quick, after back and forth showcasing everybody. But the main story of the match was that American Alpha kind of did the grand amplitude or whatever their finisher
Yeah.
is, but the Usos stole the limelight and they got the
Yeah.
pin.
Yeah.
Because they tagged themselves in, like how heels do, right?
Yeah.
Needless to say, the baby faces won, tag teams won, but it appears now that we are headed toward a tag team, new tag team titles, by the way, that look way better than the Raw tag team titles.
Yeah, and they're blue and silver.
Blue and silver, and that is going to be a tournament, which of course all of the teams, it's going to be an 8-team tournament. So who are the other 2 teams? We got, actually now, Heath Slater and Rhino
Yeah.
as a tag team.
They have also.
I think they're also going to make that announcement on next week's SmackDown Live, if I'm not
The
mistaken.
8th tag team.
Yes.
Which I can see it even be, Wyatt's feuding with Randy Orton, because it could be the Wyatt family, but
Well,
he even
not
left
really,
Eric
because
Rowan.
I don't think, because they kind of broke Eric Rowan and Bray Wyatt off
Right.
after last week's SmackDown.
Which I wonder if Luke Harper's coming back anytime soon.
It all depends on how long it takes him to recover from that torn ACL.
Yeah.
Yep. So, who do you think ends up winning the tag team titles in the long run between the tournament?
Like you said, Usos.
I mean, the Usos are definitely the most established out of everybody. I mean, I could possibly see him doing something because Heath Slater's way over right now. So I could see him like possibly doing, and like that's the only way he's going to get a contract is if he wins the tag titles.
Yeah.
so I
Just do
see
it
him
as a fluke.
teasing it at least.
I think you just do it as a fluke, like Rhino spares somebody and he accidentally falls on the person.
Right.
And count 1, 2,
And that would be fun, you know. So, but you know, American Alpha is awesome. I just think they need to earn their keep a little more, maybe a little more time. Like even if it's Survivor Series, you know, like have maybe Usos win it, turn heel, and then let American Alpha go on them later, go over on them later.
It's funny Corey didn't call. Yeah.
So next they had Dudley Boys versus Sami Zayn and Neville.
And nobody knew at that point in WrestleMania that this match was going to be the Dudley Boys' last match
Right.
in WWE. And I had no idea that they were having contractual issues and problems trying to renegotiate a new
They're probably
contract.
tired of losing all the time.
Yeah, being
Yeah,
like,
because what have they
put
done
guys
ever
over.
since they came back last year?
Just put people over, yeah.
and,
Putting over people.
Not win
They
matches at all.
They should have went to SmackDown and like win the championship and put somebody over. And somebody beat them, and put them over.
Yeah, but the brand split happened, I think, way too late in the year for them to even consider them doing something remotely impactful in the WWE.
Speaking of Impact, I think we can see him going back to WWE. I mean to TNA.
Yeah.
And,
As Bully Ray.
Bully Ray and. You know, why not?
Brother Devon.
I mean, because they're starting to get a little momentum. They got Billy Corgan as their new guy.
Oh,
Yeah, tonight.
He's just
That's my best.
Billy Corgan is so cringe on the microphone. It's unreal. I didn't think this would be possible, but there's somebody who's actually worse than Dixie Carter on the microphone, and it's Billy Corgan.
Yeah. Billy Corgan's a good singer, but he ain't a good promo guy.
And I've always heard he's a jerk.
Yeah, he's kind of like.
This is my impression of Corgan suspending James Storm. James Storm, you are suspended. Where was the emotion in the promo?
Like
There was
"James
no
Storm,
there was.
You're suspended. He's just like.
It's like he
"James
was
Storm."
reading off a line. That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weak, Billy Corgan. You got to come with a little more than
But
that.
Billy Corgan, like, spent so many years playing guitar and singing in a band.
reflection,
Yeah.
mirror.
Cutting a promo on live mic and playing in a band are two different things.
Yeah.
Billy Corgan needs to separate the two and know which one he needs to be with when he's in.
It needs to go
with
back to playing
Impact.
Smashing Pumpkins. Yeah. Bring back all the people, regular people, you know, the original people from Smashing Pumpkins. Stick with that, Billy. Okay.
Well, I really think TNA needs to make a move for Ryback as well.
Ryback's charging $5,000 a pop for appearances.
Well, that's
Oh.
what Rodney Mack charges, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just about, you know.
Yeah.
I mean that's about what main eventers, you know, or people that you know are big names in independent wrestling. That's about the going rate per match, you know. So
Yeah.
and Ryback's a WWE superstar, so I'm sure he can get that.
He was a WWE superstar.
Right. Well, and it's just like Damian Sandow's. You know, I think they're number one contender right now on TNA.
And
Yeah,
why?
and he's now known as Aaron Rex.
Aaron Rex. I'll just forget.
His name's Aaron, right?
So ultimately, we didn't get much of a build, or any of a build, I guess, for the Dudleys and Sami Zayn and Neville. But Neville and Zayn made a good team. They've got that chemistry together. And ultimately, they were able to get the Red Arrow in the win. Because, of course, the Dudleys don't win matches.
We have another question from Joshua, and it's for Mark. He says, what wrestling company do you referee for, and will they ever come down here to Lafayette?
One day in Lafayette, but it's going to take a while. Well, the things I've wrestled for was IHWF out of Athens, Texas. I wrestled for, I refereed for VCA, Velocity Championship Action from Memphis. I also refereed for a little fundraiser in Jerseyville, Illinois.
And Joshua, if you're interested, I do commentary and production work for Gulf Coast Wrestling and Mid-South Extreme here in Louisiana. We just had a show last week in Plaquemine with the Sandman.
Yeah. Did he do his little headbanging?
No, the Blackman Gym wouldn't allow it.
Aha. Next on the kickoff show, just to kind of move this 6-hour card along, we had actually a pretty decent match between Sheamus and Cesaro.
It's the 2 out of 7.
First out of the
7 matches.
7 matches or
Yeah,
best
but
of
as we
7.
said on last week's show, the outcome kind of went the way that we thought, that Sheamus was going to get
we
the
both
first
did
win.
pretty much. And Sheamus did get the first win with the bro kick, so he is up 1-0. But a pretty good match. I thought one of the best spots was Cesaro going off the LED ring post.
Yeah.
And then doing a springboard off the top rope and onto a splash.
What do you guys think about them new LED posts?
I like them okay. I mean, it's fancy. It's raw, and I wonder whether it can be used as a weapon as much now, especially like whenever they were about to give ring post-itis to Jon Stewart. Like, how are they going to wrap his legs around that big LED board? So it is interesting, and the LED ramp too.
I guess WWE has some good money. They have. I guess now they have a bunch of semis to bring all the.
Oh yeah, they do.
They always have, and they're new era, so they're trying to make it modern. So the first match on the card, it kind of opened up with Enzo and Cass coming out doing their thing.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah, they were doing some Brooklyn raps and Jay-Z and Biggie Smalls and all that good stuff.
Because they from Brooklyn, bro.
Bada boom, realest guys in the room.
How you doing?
And then they went against Jericho.
Yep.
Who I kind of like.
Yeah, they're like this Jay and Silent Bob of WWE.
Yeah, they're very funny and great heels,
Yeah, we're gonna do it.
Which, speaking of KO, I guess the big news from Raw is that we're gonna have a fatal 4-way title match next week.
Oh yeah.
And so the 4 guys we got in that match are
Roman Reigns, Big Cass, which utterly shocked me, Kevin Owens, and fourth guy is a heel.
Who's this?
Seth Rollins. Kevin Owens.
Big Cass, Roman Reigns.
And
for the Universal Championship.
Universal Championship.
My prediction, personally, I think we see continues of feuds because I think Enzo and Cass, Jericho, Kevin Owens will all get in a little melee. That'll take them out of the match. Then Rusev comes and takes out Roman Reigns. Seth Rollins wins the title.
Yep.
So, that's how I see it playing out. I would love to see Kevin Owens win the title.
It would be interesting to see that, but quickly to their SummerSlam match. Do you guys notice that finish was botched?
Yeah, it was. The pop-up code breaker.
Yeah. Even to the point where Jericho, you can even see it on his face.
He was
He was pissed. And he was
because Kevin Owens was on time. He popped him up, and Jericho,
I don't think
he was a little late.
No, I call it on Owens because I don't think that Owens got the distance that he needed to Enzo up in for the proper code breaker.
Right.
Because Jericho was in the right spot. Owens did not deliver Enzo into the right spot, and Jericho knew that. And even when they were going back up to the ramp, Jericho was eyeballing Kevin Owens like he was staring a laser right through his head. I think Jericho might have been legit pissed about Kevin Owens screwing that up.
Yeah. Well, and there's a lot of emotion in wrestling, such as me really being scared for Sasha Banks' career oftentimes whenever she has title matches.
As great as their match was on Monday Night Raw, when Sasha Banks won the championship, and that was a phenomenal match.
Yeah.
She still put her neck on the line.
But not only that, this match they had at SummerSlam was just ugly from start to finish. Yeah. This was probably one of the worst matches I've seen both Sasha Banks and Charlotte in, and to see them have such a deplorable, disappointing match after having such a huge, exciting match.
What was that move off the top rope where Charlotte had Sasha up and
she was going for a side
on her head pretty much.
She was going for a side salto or a side suplex off the top and just lost her grip.
Watch him in here.
Yeah, exactly. And again, this match was just ugly, start to finish. There's really no other way to describe it other than just ugly. And you would think two great talents like Charlotte and Sasha Banks would put on better matches than that.
Yeah.
And they have in the past. And like I've already said before, when Sasha Banks won the championship on Monday Night Raw, that match they had was unbelievably good. Yeah. So you were anticipating good quality matches, good stuff out of Sasha Banks and Charlotte. And unfortunately, they went out there at SummerSlam and laid a big fat goose egg out there. Now, for the rumors about Sasha Banks being suspended or injured, a lot of that stuff hasn't really been substantiated yet, to be honest. But there was like rumors, especially even after the match was over during the live hangout I have on WGS-TV. By the way, if you want to tune into that for the pay-per-views, you can as well.
They said the reason why Sasha Banks lost the title because they said she was hurt, and she pretty much said to Charlotte, like, I'm hurt and stuff, and she pretty much said, okay, let's put the title back on Charlotte.
But there were also rumors out there that Sasha Banks was on something like that.
Oh, she's doing like what her cousin does?
Yeah, a little bit. So that's why I'm not really going to pass judgment either or, because of the fact, like I said before, nothing has been substantiated, so there's really no point in talking about it. Yeah. But that's just my personal opinion about it.
But new women's champion, and the belt's back on Charlotte. So with Charlotte Banks maybe being hurt, being on the shelf, Paige being, I guess off the list right now on the wellness policy. We had debut on Monday Night Raw
of Bayley.
Hey, Bayley.
And so it appears that we're going to get a feud between Charlotte and Bayley, and hopefully they've had some great matches as well.
Yeah, in NXT, and they've had a small rivalry, as it was, but they were both faces at the time when it pertains to the NXT Women's Championship, and had some great matches. But, as I say that, consider what I just said already about what happened with Sasha Banks and Charlotte. I just hope the same thing doesn't repeat itself for Bayley and Charlotte on the main roster for the women's title.
Right. Yeah, and I've said it from the beginning of the women's revolution that the quality just hasn't been in the NXT quality that we were getting, and I think it's because it's a bigger stage. Like Alexa Bliss and Carmella looked like they were shaking out of their boots at SummerSlam. Like they looked literally nervous, But I don't know. They still delivered for the most part. That match kind of sucked. But anyways, Intercontinental match, who's been in the news. Yeah, you mentioned Miz. He defended his title against Apollo Crews in what was a horrible build.
What was Maurice wearing that night? Damn.
Good though. Yeah.
I'm sure Corey would agree if he called.
Yeah.
Which really, the news. Miz won the match. That's about it.
Yeah.
Miz was like pretty much kind of ousted though on SmackDown. They didn't.
Yeah.
Really, there was really no mention of his victory. He had like one little quick comedy, promo in the back.
Yeah.
But he went on talking smack after SmackDown and was literally talking smack with Daniel Bryan.
Essentially, what happened during this promo, ladies and gentlemen, is Daniel Bryan would make the comment that The Miz wrestles like a coward, and which would set Miz into doing an amazingly well done promo back at Daniel Bryan. Now, where is this going to lead to? I really don't know. I think only time will tell, especially if anything happens to Miz on SmackDown Live. Again, only time will tell. So a lot of people are thinking Daniel Bryan is going to get back into the ring. No, he's not. The WWE medical will never allow that to happen. Yeah. So
Well, that was part of Miz calling him a coward. Is like, well, if you love wrestling so much, why don't you go wrestle in the bingo halls and do independent wrestling?
Yeah.
And it looked like Daniel Bryan was literally he was really pissed off about it, and he walked off the set.
But here's the thing, though.
Shoot or not.
But here's the thing, though. Whether it was a shoot or a work, it's got people like us talking about it.
Oh,
it's got people interested again in what Miz is doing.
Yeah,
and I think that's the whole point behind it.
He's best in the business, really, and as far as like he's one of the best talkers and heels in the game. He's not the prettiest in the ring per se, but he gets it done as far as putting over matches, and I think Miz is way underrated.
Yep, but he now has more focus shifted toward him because of what he did on Talking Smack, and I think he did a very good job of it.
He really did. Okay, next match. Yeah, the one I said stole the show. AJ Styles against John
Let's
Cena.
see
This one was really a beauty.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it pretty much showed like, hey, John Cena can wrestle.
And John Cena's been proving year after year after year, the last like 3 or 4 years, that he really is like, I mean, he puts on great matches.
Yeah.
He's a main event player.
And that's great because AJ Styles pretty much brought the best out of John Cena.
And one could say Cena's done the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, surely. Which I read earlier, actually, that the original plans for the titles before the brand split was to have the world title on Raw and have Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins at SummerSlam. And it was originally scheduled for AJ Styles to have the Universal Championship on SmackDown and go against somebody. And Finn Balor was originally supposed to go against Chris Jericho. So it was interesting, I thought.
And AJ Styles the franchise now.
But then Roman Reigns got suspended and they had to rewrite everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, but AJ Styles is now the franchise. That's what we said in SmackDown.
And
Big boy on the franchise.
and I mean, like, he ended up having a number one contender match on SmackDown with
Dolph Ziggler,
Dolph
your boy.
Ziggler to become the number one contender, full-fledged for Dean Ambrose title. I honestly want AJ Styles to win that title from Dean Ambrose.
Yeah.
Ambrose just hasn't been doing it for me as the world champ. Well, I mean, y'all might differ in opinion, but he hasn't just brought anything new. It's early in the title reign, like 2-3 months, but we'll see.
Yeah, let's see.
What do you say, Billy?
Basically, Ambrose really hasn't shown us anything he hasn't already done before.
Right.
Yeah.
He needs to start showing us some new stuff.
And
I'm sorry,
he's
but-
another one like Miz that I just find kind of boring in the ring, kind of.
Joshua wants to know our opinions on the title belts. First, on the Universal Championship, my initial reaction to the Universal Championship design,
It was just the
laziness.
Yeah.
That was my initial reaction to it. But being that I've had time to think about it, and considering the fact that the World Championship looks exactly like it, to me, it's kind of fitting because it should look like your top title. And your top title in the company, WWE World Heavyweight Championship, basically, you kind of mock it a little bit, but I'm not saying like mock, make fun of it, but basically you copy it a little bit. And with the red leather in the background to kind of symbolize Monday Night Raw for it, I think it's kind of befitting. So I think the way they designed it works.
Do you think they're going to make the world title on SmackDown blue now?
No, they're not going to change the design of that. That's why the tag team title belts are blue.
Which those look awesome, I think.
Yeah.
The new tag team titles on SmackDown are silver plates with the
Yeah.
blue belt,
Yeah,
dark
they're
blue. I think they look really sharp, way better than the copper and whatever it is.
Yeah.
And the SmackDown Women's Championship, the main plate in the background of it is blue.
Yeah, it basically looks just like the women's
Again, so-
title on Raw.
Yeah, so basically the colors of the belt represent the show, with Monday Night Raw's color for years being red and SmackDown's being blue. To me, now it kind of fits. So I think fans need to start getting off of WWE's back when it comes to the design of the Universal Championship and realize that the design that they have works.
Well, and like the fans were booing all through the Finn Balor
yeah.
Seth Rollins match about the belt.
Yeah, exactly. And even Seth Rollins put out a tweet, something along the lines that,
He was disappointed in the universe.
yeah, disappointed in the universe because of the fact that they didn't like the way the belt looked. But it should be about the men fighting for the belt.
In the match. The belt and the match, the story, instead of talking about the belt.
Lame.
You know?
Come on, Brooklyn.
Yeah. Thought they'd be smarter than
Not just Brooklyn, but the whole IWC as well.
the universe, you know, everybody's like, it's so ugly, they were lazy, like you said. I think, like he was right, it's about, the story, why they're fighting for it, they want to be the best on Raw.
Which, speaking of Seth Rollins, he's kind of been getting some heat about, man, he injures another person.
from Bret the Hitman Hart of all people. And think about it, Seth Rollins really has hurt people. I mean, he's pretty much ended the career of Sting. He shattered the nose of John Cena, and now because of what happened in the match with him and Finn Balor, the shoulder injury. By the way,
And he hurt himself, and
Yeah.
it's all on that little powerbomb move that he does.
And have you seen the slow mo? They showed it.
That's what hurt Sting. That's what hurt Finn Balor, and that's what hurt himself too.
So that's that's the reason why the curb stomp got banned, and now I think WWE needs to take that move out of Seth Rollins' moveset. And if I think they do that, then I think he's pretty much got a clean moveset, and they don't have to worry about him hurting people.
Maybe. Well, he need John Cena in the face, really.
Yeah.
So that one.
He doesn't do that very much often anymore, as far as I could tell.
Right. But so that's just something interesting. And hey, you never know. He hurts people and wins titles. So you got to do what you got to do. It's a dirty business. The next match was the World Tag Team titles between the Club and the New Day. Jon Stewart got involved with this one.
And that made me want to facepalm when I saw that.
Yeah, and he was taking Big E's place, who happened to be okay and was there, and which led to a plot hole. Okay, well, if Big E was there and healthy, why didn't he come out with him originally?
Yeah, and we talked about that last week on the show. Is the fact that WWE were going to use SummerSlam to bring Big E back, and that's exactly what happened.
Right, and it ended up leading to a disqualification because the Club was playing dirty, and so Big E came out and they were about to actually give Jon Stewart the ring postitis. So, needless to say, Big E came to make the save.
And still, the WWE Tag Team Champions.
Comedians should not be in the ring taking bumps.
So it appears that who's going to be facing the New Day at their first pay-per-view Clash of Champions? Who?
It's going to be the
It's
Club.
probably going to be the Club again.
Yes.
Because they won by disqualification.
Exactly.
But I was excited to see on Raw, though, that the Club kind of came back to their stomper style, rather than trying to do the comedy thing.
Yeah.
Because that's how the Club should be. Which, did y'all catch the Finn Balor and the Club, AJ Styles at SummerSlam?
How
when they all ran
badly
into each
did the
other?
fans want to see that?
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
Balor just blew them off.
yeah, the fans didn't like that, but they were clamoring because of the fact that all four of these men were together, and they wanted to see it. And honestly, me too. I kind of wanted to see it a little bit, but I knew WWE weren't going to go that route because of the fact that the three members of the Club are heels, and Finn Balor is technically a face. If Balor was coming off as a heel, then yeah, definitely. We
Maybe in the near
seen it.
future. Maybe in the near future. Maybe.
Yeah.
I think they're going to do Balor as a baby face for a year, maybe two,
Yeah.
and then he'll be heel. And he's one of those guys with a demon you can kind of turn like that.
Corey, where are you? You
Okay.
usually called by now.
All right, Dolph Ziggler against
He misses you, Corey.
Dolph Ziggler against Dean Ambrose. Pretty much
It's a world's title match, yeah.
lackluster. Yeah, let down. Dean Ambrose.
That's pretty much the same thing you could say about the majority of SummerSlam. It was a letdown. It was disappointing. And overall, Dolph Ziggler and Dean Ambrose was sloppy. It was a sloppy match. It wasn't good.
Yeah, he was like the little dance, picking on Dolph Ziggler,
But there haven't been too many matches, especially since he's had the world title, that I've been that impressed with Dean Ambrose. And I mean, he does the same stuff, like the little lean back on the ropes.
Lunatic
float
lariat.
on.
I will say this though, I'm glad for the commentary teams that we had both
He's
teams
a
there.
great commentator.
Oh yeah, Mauro Ranallo really outshined and outclassed Michael Cole in every sense of the word.
And he actually knows the names of wrestling moves.
Yes.
Come on, Vince.
But Ambrose retained. Then we got a pointless 6-diva tag match. Well, I guess it wasn't pointless because we saw the return of Nikki Bella.
Yep.
Yeah, woohoo. Nikki Bella's back.
But yeah, Becky Lynch, Carmella, Naomi. What do y'all think about Naomi's blacklight entrance?
Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I like
cool.
it.
Yeah, it goes back to them incorporating her dancing into her entrance, which really makes her very entertaining to watch.
And she had a big old booty.
Which I guess the news, it ended up the bad guys won or bad girls, Natalya, Alexa Bliss, and Nikki Bella. It was really a showcase of Nikki Bella, it seemed like, in the match. But these women, as you mentioned, got their own title, and they're going to have a 6-pack challenge. for the title.
I hope Natalya wins the first SmackDown Women's Championship.
You think
But
Natalya?
But it's probably gonna be Becky Lynch.
I was almost even thinking it could possibly be even Naomi, maybe Nikki Bella as well. I think it's either Becky Lynch.
They didn't put her on Natalya. I think they.
Yeah, but Natalya's not a great heel though. They need to turn her back babyface. She's not.
She wasn't that much of a babyface either.
You're right. She doesn't have much character.
All right. Next match.
The Universal Championship.
Rollins gets. That's a pretty good match. That was
the second best match of the night.
But it was like reckless. Seth Rollins hurt.
I don't think it was that reckless. It was just kind of a fluke, man. Yeah. It was a move that he's done. He does night in, night out, and it doesn't hurt people every night. And it's just bad luck, I guess, on Finn Balor's part. He wins the Universal Championship on his first pay-per-view, and then gets hurt. So, but ultimately, it was just kind of a back and forth. He ended up getting the coup de grace on him, and it was a really good match. Probably like I said, second best match of the night behind Cena and AJ Styles.
And the next one is Rusev and Roman Reigns. Didn't really happen. It was a.
Because by then, the entire crowd were on life support. Because this was right around the 5-hour mark. 5 hours, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
5 hours.
It was like a football game is less.
I'm stressing this for a reason. Because in the past, pay-per-views have generally been 3.5 hours. WrestleMania can be understandably that long because it's supposed to be your biggest show of the year. SummerSlam, no. Somebody's got to step up and say no. SummerSlam, 6 hours, does not work. And this year is prime evidence that it didn't work. Yeah. I'm sorry to get mad about it, but I sat there for 6 hours and was disappointed start to finish. Do a better job, WWE.
Get him, Billy.
Yeah. And probably the really letdown match of this night was probably Brock Lesnar against Randy Orton.
That's an understatement right there, Mark. And a lot of people were pissed, and I think there's even a story that went backstage that even Chris Jericho was legit pissed with Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar's face.
Man, if we had Jacob in here, I could get him to bring up the picture of the gash that was on Randy Orton's head, and that was just. Now, from what we learned is that this was the way it was supposed to be worked, with Brock Lesnar elbowing Randy Orton, and the match ending by TKO. I can't even remember the last time we had a wrestling match that ended in a TKO. But
Big Show.
With Big Show?
Yeah, he had weapons of mass destruction.
Oh.
And the punch.
Yeah, but I don't think he's ever had gashed open anybody's head with that. And Brock Lesnar. Yeah,
they just want to make it look realistic, but it didn't work out.
Well, it worked out. It worked out more than what they wanted it to be honest. So.
I wonder how much Randy Orton got paid to take that bump.
Hope enough.
Yeah, it better have been a lot.
Yeah. I'm sure he got paid at least $1 million just for SummerSlam.
Yeah, just to appear there, but to get your head busted open in that fashion.
And he knew it was going to happen. That's what I was disappointed about.
Yeah, but I think what they didn't anticipate was the fact that he was going to bleed like a Sid out of his head. He was knocked
out there for a while.
Yeah, and then we turned him over, and then it was just. It might be a little graphic just to demonstrate this here on a public access channel, but it was like that. Basically, when think back to when Cena had his nose broken and it was just coming out like a faucet. Yeah. That's pretty much how it is. But if I want to give an overall score to SummerSlam, 1 out of 5. For 2 reasons. One, it was a 6-hour piece of crap. WWE put way too many matches in that span of a time. Fans aren't meant to go that long on a show, 6 hours. And that was ridiculous. WrestleMania is the exception to the rule because it's your biggest show of the year. SummerSlam is not your biggest show of the year. And it was just an utter disappointment. There were 2 bright points of SummerSlam, which gives it a 1. And that's the only reason why it saves it from getting a 0 out of 5 for SummerSlam. You know, I hate to sound testy about it, but I was irritated from start to finish where during the live Google Hangout that I have on the pay-per-views, it was more interesting to screw around with the trolls that we had in the chat room than actually pay attention to the actual show.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. I would say more so 3 out of 5 on my end, which isn't a great score by any means. It's like a C.
yeah.
I guess just kind of go recap Raw. Balor had to give up his title.
Yeah.
So they're having the Fatal 4-Way now. They had all their qualifying matches before. And it's looking like it's going to be Roman Reigns. It's going to be Big Cass, Seth Rollins, and Kevin Owens. It also appears that the New Day is continuing their feud with the club. Charlotte is kind of feuding with Bayley now. Let's see, Big E is returned. Titus O'Neil is apparently feuding with.
I get headaches thinking about
with
that
Darren
promo.
Young
And
still.
not just that. First off, how many times did Titus botch that promo? It was ridiculous. And not only that, but Bob Backlund at his age,
Doing a bump, but
should not be taking bumps.
But Bob Backlund's badass though, you know.
Yeah, but still, guys like that should not be taking bumps.
What else?
Braun Strowman,
Johnny
my
Knockout,
God.
who likes big sweaty men,
Oh.
which got the chant from the crowd, "Let's go, Jobber." But
Dudley Boy's retired.
Dudley Boy's retired. Yeah.
But think about this and what they did in that segment. They basically put over Gallows and Anderson.
Yeah.
When they
Which was great though.
just imagine what that means to have a legendary tag team in the industry as the Dudleys put you over in their final segment of their show.
And get some serious heat, definitely.
Exactly.
So, when we're looking at Clash of Champions, which is a little further away out, I don't think they're as booked up on Clash of Champions as they are on Backlash on SmackDown, which takes place on September 11th, which ironically is the season opener of the Saints.
Yeah.
So,
And
of course,
Patriots
Terror.
Patriots Day.
Yeah, Terror. SmackDown, however, has a little bit of a card building up for Backlash, which is just like 3 weeks away.
Yeah, they unveiled the championships, the new championships, the blue tag team belts, and the new women's championship. And
It's a 6-pack for women,
Yeah.
and a tournament for the tags.
Yeah.
Slater came out of there and said he would look good with gold around his waist. Was looking at both title belts, and Daniel Bryan would chime in, I don't think you're well equipped to win the women's championship.
I ain't talking about that, man. I'm talking about tag team belts.
Right?
That was funny. That was really
And
funny.
Slater's, as we said, he's really gotten over with the crowd. They were chanting for Slater, I think, during one of the matches at SummerSlam.
Having Slater on, it was going to come.
Yeah, well, when he teamed up with Titus O'Neil, they were known as Slater Gators, so what can they call Slater and Rhino?
We'll see, I guess. Okay. I'm sure they'll come up with something clever. But another story on SmackDown was AJ Styles was really taunting Dolph Ziggler and rubbing it in that he lost the title, and it really pissed Dolph off. And they ended up fighting in the main event.
Yeah, for the world, for the number one contendership.
Well, it was actually AJ Styles was established as the number one contender. If Dolph was able to beat AJ Styles,
it would have been a triple threat.
It would be a triple threat match.
Yeah.
Anybody noticed in that
Dolph did such a good job?
Anybody noticed in that backstage segment at the opening of the show, they had Eric Rowan, and Baron Corbin talking to each other. What the hell can they be talking about?
I don't know. Like
they were big and tall and have no personality.
Motorcycles.
Or tattoos, or sheep masks.
Tattoos. Who does their hair and beard.
But they had a couple of the tag team tournament matches. Usos were able to take out the Ascension American Alpha took out Breezango, which it was obvious that those two teams would advance.
Yeah, but I will say this though, I'm glad that it wasn't a complete squash of Breezango. It actually
Breezango looks good.
it made the match interesting, you know.
Yeah.
They had that really good match. Was it at Money in the Bank or Backlash or something like that?
With the Golden Truth?
Or, well, I mean, like they actually looked pretty like aggressive, and I don't think it was with the Golden Truth. Who was it again? I don't remember.
Well, it was like, was it the Lucha Dragons?
Probably so. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, because I remember that they did the whole finish with the super kick, the supermodel kick, to Kalisto's face.
Mm-hmm.
We also saw a heel turn too on SmackDown.
Who, Carmella?
Carmella. Oh, I guess it's a
Well, what was she
double
doing as a
turn.
face?
Well, I guess it's a double turn to kind of make Nikki more of the baby face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because think about this. She got a positive reaction from the SummerSlam crowd when she came back.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy, but she's been gone for a while.
Well, I mean, people like her and they know who she is. You
Yeah.
know, she's the most famous girl on SmackDown right now.
And kind of people respect her. You know, she got
Probably
hurt
the
and
only
she
person
came
on
back.
SmackDown that's got more silicone than Eva Marie.
Hey.
Yeah.
And
At least she can wrestle.
Eva Marie is on
Yeah, her-
vacation.
Not by
right
much.
now.
Yeah.
Which I don't really like her gimmick, like how
Vacation
Eva Marie's
nothing,
stuck
she's
in
suspended.
traffic. Eva Marie is on vacation in Paris. Eva Marie is like I don't like the announcer. So it looks like Backlash. The world title match is going to be Dean Ambrose and AJ Styles. That's going to be awesome. I'm hoping AJ can take that.
Yep.
The Intercontinental Championship. Man, we saw Miz have that awesome, shoot
Yeah.
on Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, we were talking about it just a few minutes ago. And again, when you do something, whether heel or face, that attracts interest to you, then you're doing something right. And
Right.
what
And
Miz
they got
did,
all kind of
yeah, because again, he's got people like us talking about what he did.
right, exactly.
But it should give somebody else to challenge for.
Because if
it,
nobody
better.
cared about what Miz did,
Yeah.
and if nobody cared about the promo, then nobody would be talking about it. But the talk of the town is what Miz did.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, does Apollo Crews get another shot at the Intercontinental
No.
Championship?
No,
No.
somebody else. It should be somebody else.
You know, but what I was talking about with Mark earlier on is like, man, SmackDown, like where they really suffer at SmackDown is their mid card
Oof.
is nowhere near as good as Raw's mid card, and like people like Cesaro, Neville, and Sami Zayn are struggling in the mid card and on Raw, you
Yeah,
know,
they
and
should
not
be
even
SmackDown.
getting stuff. Whereas they don't have anybody in the mid card on SmackDown.
I think the reason for that is the time allotment. SmackDown is only a 2-hour show as compared to Monday Night Raw, which is a 3, which is why
It's 8 segments versus 12. You know, so I mean, it's basically you need about 8 more people, I guess. You
I
know,
wish like
so,
Damon
which
Sandow.
we're about how much? 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Well, before we go, guys and gals, I know I promised online that we would show GCW this week. Yeah,
Next week.
next week.
Minute and a half.
Yeah, so
okay.
we'll do that next week. You know, the opening segment and the opening match from GCW Blackman and the Mayor's Cup, which will be coming in the next few weeks here on GCW. I know I promised it this week. I do apologize for that happening. So it will be on next week, guys and gals. I do promise you for that. So with that being said, that's been our thoughts on it. If you have any thoughts, if you're watching this, especially on YouTube, you be sure you put those in the comment section below.
What about Luke Box?
Or Luke, well, we'll do that another time as well because we don't have enough time. So again, guys and gals, this has been Sports Entertainment Tonight for Nick Nayday, because he makes all the ladies say
Mayday.
Fuquay, Mark Traha. I am your friendly neighborhood Russell Gamer, Double B Billy Boudreaux, and we will see you next week right here on AOC. Bye, everybody.